Alright, calculating with significant figures. So you learned about significant figures the other day and what they are. Now we're going to learn how to calculate with them. So there's two different rules that go along, one with adding and subtracting and one with multiplying and dividing. So without further ado, let us talk about sig figs. Alright, so here we go. Adding and subtracting rules. We got a problem here. Alright, so here's what I want you to do when you're adding and subtracting. The first thing I want you to do is rewrite a problem so they're over top of each other, okay? Rewrite the problem so both of... I'm going to change my pen color here real quickly. Alright, so write it where both of the figures, or if there's more than two numbers in your calculation, are over top of each other, lining up places. So 3.45 plus 6.1. Okay? So my ones line up, my tenths line up. There's only one thing that has the hundred. So step one, rewrite it so they line up over each other. Okay. Step two, go ahead and plug this into your calculator and get an answer from the calculator. So I'm going to plug this in my calculator. I get 3.45 plus 6.1. Alright, and once you plug that into your calculator, we get 9.55. Okay, so that's step two. So step one, line them up. Step two, go ahead and plug into your calculator. Okay, this is your calculator answer. Alright, in chemistry, right? Well, let's go back to in math. You can get big old numbers and it's all good. But in chemistry, if you remember the other day, we had those three balances that we looked at on the other podcast, and that each balance went to a different decimal place. Okay, there were only so many decimal places it can go. Alright, so this would be like the balance that went two decimal places, and this would be like the balance that only went one decimal place. The rules for adding and subtracting go as so. You can only match up to the least number of significant places when you get your answer here. Here's what that means. Okay, so remember, step one, line them up. Step two, get the calculator answer. Step three, go back to your problem and underline the last significant figure to the right. Okay, you're going to underline the last significant figure. Now 3.45, these are all significant. The last one to the right is right here, that 5 that's in the 100th place. Go to the next part of the problem. 6.1, those are both significant. Last significant figure to the right is that 1. Okay, so that's step 3. Now step 4. Your answer can only match up to the least number of places to the right. Another way to say that is, you see your underlines here, okay, is whatever underline is to the left, okay, whichever one's furthest left, that's what you're going to match up. So our furthest left underline is here in the ones place, and that's the only place that's the furthest place our answer can go to. Okay, so we're going to now rewrite this answer. We got 9 point. Alright, let's see what's after this 5. There's another 5. Now 5's that weird rule, but remember, if it's an odd number, it goes ahead and rounds up, so this is 9.6. And when calculating sig figs, that is your answer for adding and subtracting. Alright, don't worry, we're going to do some more. Here we go. Alright, step 1, rewrite the problem. Alright, step 2, go ahead and plug it in to your calculator. Alright, and write down your answer. 5.866. Okay, step 3. Go to the last significant place to the right. That's there and here. Step 4. Line up your underlines. The furthest one left we're going to use. So the first one left is this one. So line them up. Boom. This time we're only going to the 1000th place. So our answer will be 5.8. We got to go here. There's a 6 behind it, so it's going to round that 6 up to a 7. And here is our answer with significant figures. Do another one. Alright, this time we have 3 numbers. Doesn't matter how many numbers you have. Oops. when adding and subtracting, still the same rules apply. So line them up, plug into your calculator. 4.5 plus 3.223 plus 5.7. You get a lovely answer of 13.423. Okay, step 3. Underline the last significant place to the right. That 5, that 3, that 7. Okay, this time there happens to be two numbers, it doesn't really matter, that line up, the first to the left, that match up to our answer, so we can only go to the 10th place here. So our answer is 13 point, that's a 4, and there's a 2, 3 after it. That 2 doesn't round it up, so it's going to stay 4. So 13.4. Alright, next one on the list, 90.12 minus 38. Okay. Oops, skipping a step. Let's go ahead and add them up. Okay, this time we are subtracting, but the rule still applies. The exact same rule for adding as is subtracting. So let's subtract that, put our answer down as 52.1. I don't know why that's, of course my pen's just wanting to mess up with me. So let's try, oh, there we go, 52.12. Alright, now line them up. Furthest place to the right is at 2. For this one is at 8. So we can only go to the ones place this time. So our answer is 50. There's a 1 behind that 2, so it's going to stay 2. The answer for this one is 52. Last one, 120 minus 30. I'm going to line those up better. 120 minus 13.456. Alright, plug into your calculator. We get an answer of 106.544. Alright, gotta be careful on this one. Let's look at this 120. What's the last significant place to the right? Well, there's 120. There's no decimal place here. Meaning that 0, if you remember, there's only 2 sig figs here. That 0 is not significant. So the last place is actually this 2 here. Last place to the right here is a 6. So this one only lines up, right, to the tens place. With that being said, we can write it down now. We have 100. That 6 rounds up that 0 to a 1, and then 0. 110 is the answer for this one. Alright, you try these. Okay, so pause it, and when you come back, I'll quickly put some answers down. If you have questions, we'll go over them in class. Alright, here are your answers with sig figs, and if you have questions over these, I've underlined which ones were significant and how they lined up. If you have questions, ask them in class. Alright, multiplying and dividing. I like this rule. It's a little more straightforward here. So, multiplying and dividing, you don't have to line them up. Here's what you do. So, step 1, get your number, just plug it into your calculator. Okay, for this one, we get an answer of 1532.976. Alright, step 2, go back into your original problem and count how many sig figs you have. Right here, we have 4 significant figures. Right here, we have 3 significant figures. Okay, so step 1, get your calculator answer. Step 2, count up your sig figs. Step 3, match up your least number of sig figs. So count it up. That has 4 sig figs. This one only has 3. And your answer can only have the least number of sig figs. So your answer can only have 3 sig figs. So that would be 1, 5. Last number here, there's a 2 after it, so it's the same 3. And then we put a 0 behind it because that number is still 1,532. So it just goes to 1530. This has 3 sig figs and it's proper rounding, okay? So we'll do some more. Same rule applies for multiplying and dividing. So 67.345 times 34.23 times 910. Step 1, plug into your calculator. our answer turns out to be this big old number. Alright, count up your sig figs. We have 5 sig figs here, 4 here, and be careful here, no decimal place. So we're going this way from right to left. 0 doesn't count. We only have 2 sig figs here. So our answer here can only have 2 significant figures. So the answer is 2, and then that. This is our second sig fig. That 9 is going to round that 0 up to a 1. And then we have just a bunch of zeros after it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This answer has 2 sig figs and is rounded properly for this number. Alright, do another one. 80.80 or 80.00 times 120.01 times 0.00120. This number comes out to be 11.52096. Alright, step 1, calculate your answer. Step 2, sig figs in your problem. That has 4. This one has 5. This one has, be careful, decimal place present. We're going from left to right this time. 1, 2, 3. So our answer can only have 3 sig figs. So our answer turns out to be 11.5. Alright, we're dividing one this time, so 34.4 divided by 12.0. Okay, our answer turns out to be 2.8. Got a bunch of these, and with the 7 on the end. Alright, how many sig figs here are 3? 3 sig figs here. They both have 3. So we're going to match it up and say this one can only have 3. So we got a 2.8, and then one more number. That 6 has all these 6's behind it, so it rounds up to be 7. So 2.87. Oh, looky here, we got one with scientific notation. That's okay. Now let's plug into our calculator properly. 1.230. Hopefully you remember to use the E button. -4 divided by 4.00 to the 7th. Alright, my calculator tells me the answer is 3.075 times 10 to the -12th. Alright, if you remember with scientific notation, we just look at the numbers up here for sig figs. This one has 4 sig figs. This one has 3 sig figs. So our answer can only have 3. So it's 3.0. 7 has a 5 behind it, and since that 7's odd, we're going to round it to even. Times 10 to the -12th. Here we go. Alright, you try some, pause it, and when you come back, the answers will be up. Alright guys, here's my work and the answers, so see if yours match up, and if you have questions, we're going to do some more in class, so bring them in. Alright, cool.